My name is Sierra Degree, and this is my presentation for graduate school. First, I had to decide which degree I would like, a PhD or a PsyD. A PhD is a doctor in philosophy. To obtain a PhD, an individual must attend an accredited university. If the PhD is to be used for clinical counseling, an individual must also do a year in an APA accredited clinical setting. This plus all of the coursework amounts to approximately 5 years of postgraduate schooling. A PsyD is a doctor of psychology and is offered at professional schools for psychology. Many universities are now starting to offer a PsyD, but also requiring that those getting their PsyD also do a research dissertation just as a PhD would. I have chosen a PhD for counseling psychology. Here is the American Psychology Association's definition of counseling psychology. Why I have chosen psychology. My goal in life is to make a positive influence in somebody's life that is impacting and lasting. Now, I think that counseling psychology is probably my best way of doing that. It allows you to get to know an individual on a personal level and be a part of their solutions and sometimes their recovery. So I've also chosen 2 psychology specialties, I guess. My first is substance abuse and chemical dependency. I've chosen substance abuse and chemical dependency because I've seen firsthand what it can do, and I know that it's usually at that point in time in a person's life when they notice that they have a problem that it's their lowest point in life. And I want to be that person who's there to help them out of that hole and to help them obtain their recovery. This is what substance abuse is. Substance abuse is different than chemical dependency. They are 2 separate things. But substance abuse is a maladaptive pattern of substance use leading to clinically significant impairment or distress as manifested by one or more of the following occurring within a 12-month period. There is recurrent substance use resulting in failure to fulfill major role obligations at work, school, or home. Recurrent substance-related legal problems. Recurrent substance use in situations in which it is physically dangerous, like driving. And continued substance use despite persistent or recurrent social and interpersonal problems caused or exacerbated by the effects of the substance. Now, chemical dependency has a couple of different components. There is tolerance, as defined by either a need to markedly increase amounts of the substance to gain the intoxication or desired effect. Markedly a diminished effect of the controlled substance, using the same amount of the substance. And then there's withdrawal. And that is the characteristic of withdrawal symptoms for each substance, and taking the same or closely related substance to relieve or avoid withdrawal symptoms. Another thing that must be there within the 12 months is taking the substance often in larger amounts or over a longer period than was intended, and having a persistent desire or unsuccessful efforts to cut down or control substance use. I have also chosen marriage and family counseling. I've chosen marriage and family counseling not based on any of the textbook things, but because of my internship, actually. It's taught me a lot, and I've gotten to experience being in sessions with patients, children, adults, and couples, and it has really taught me that that's an area in which I would also like to be of help. So, marriage and family counseling is just as you would expect. Marriage and family counselors help people work through tough times, Usually couples come in when they are trying to not get a divorce or split up, or families will come in during times when they need extra support during crisis, like death or layoff. So for that, of course, I will need postgraduate schooling for both. So due to the growing need for counselors in substance abuse and chemical dependency, most accredited universities offer coursework related to that field. Marriage and family counseling has been around for a long time, so that is in almost all universities. So I'm not really sure exactly where I want to go, but so far I've got 3 universities in which I think I might be interested in. There's Washington State University, Capella University, and Georgia State University. The academic requirements for Washington State University are GRE test results, grade point average in previous academic work, relevance of student goals and interest to the program, and letters of recommendation, they ask for 3, and previous experiences. On the right hand side, you'll see admission averages for GPA and GRE scores. Admission requirements for Capella University is a minimum grade point average of 2.7 or higher on a 4.0 scale. And if your initial grade point average is not at a 2.7, there are alternative admission options that you can discuss. And the GRE is not required for admissions. Capella University is an online university, and I have found in my research that most online universities do not require GRE. And thirdly, Georgia State University requirements. The average GPA of a competitive applicant is 3.4 on a 4.0 scale. The average score of a competitive applicant for the GRE cumulative is 1,000 points on the verbal and quantitative sections of the test, and a cumulative 250, 295 to 300 on the verbal and quantitative sections as well. That is individually. So my plan? I'm going to give it a year. For now, I've got a great paid internship, which allows me to take part in the counseling process with real clients within a private practice. I plan to stay there through the year while I study to take my GRE, and by the spring of 2016 I hope to have applied to a host of different schools. I really don't know where I want to be in the next year. I just know what I want to be doing. So hopefully this year it'll get me there. Here are my references if you are interested.